to Jeff, and I swear to God, I'll tear out your freaking ovaries!
The only thing better than a murder mystery is a goofy murder mystery, and boy oh boy, this is one of the goofiest of them all. Imagine Clue, but less gritty, or Glass Onion, but without the social commentary. Like these films, Drowning Mona has a delightful ensemble cast with a perfect mix of witty dialogue and slapstick humor. This movie's got everything. Vanity plates, bad wigs, a lesbian mechanic. The characters have accents, none of which are consistent, but it's subtle enough to not be a nuisance. Is it a little ridiculous? Sure, but all the best movies are. Chief Wyatt Rash, played by Danny DeVito, is investigating the death of Mona Dearly, played by Bette Midler. What initially looks like an accident turns out to be a murder. The only problem is that almost everyone in town has a motive, and they're all glad she's dead. Our story begins with Mona Dearly attempting to unlock the door of her red Yugo, but the key isn't working. She turns around and tries the key on the door of the yellow Yugo behind her. It works. An interesting tidbit about Yugos is that they have a reputation for being one of the worst cars ever produced. Aside from their tendencies to fall apart and not work properly, I think they're kind of cute. Just about everyone drives one in this town, and everyone has a vanity plate. These vanity plates include Yugo Mona, Jeff with a PH, Phil 123, O'Roan, Ellie with 3 E's, Murph, and Police. So Mona is driving, and when she goes to hit the brakes, the car doesn't slow down. After frantically trying to brake to no avail, she ends up going over the edge of a cliff and into the lake below. At the police station, one of the officers informs Wyatt Rash, the chief of police, played by America's sweetheart Danny DeVito, about Mona Dearly's crash and resulting death. It's initially assumed to be an accident, and most people are satisfied with that answer. But when Chief Rash finds no skid marks on the road, he becomes suspicious. And now on to our next character of interest, Bobby Calzone. Bobby is played by Casey Affleck in a blonde wig. It looks so fake. It's the best thing I've ever seen. Bobby's in the landscaping business. His partner is Jeff, who is missing his right hand, and who is flirting with a 13-year-old daughter from their other clients. Jeff is a fucking idiot, and Bobby is clearly disgusted by him. Their landscaping business is a frequent topic of conflict between Bobby and the Dearlys. Bobby has a rocky relationship with Mona, Phil, and Jeff Dearly, who frequently gang up on him unprompted. Bobby, while a bit of a dumbass, is the voice of reason when it comes to the Dearlys, but that reason means nothing to them. After work, Jeff and Bobby arrive at Jeff's house to find the police there. One of the officers tells Jeff that his mother, Mona, was in an accident and that she's dead. This news has absolutely no effect on him. Jeff, with no change in expression, goes,
"What was she doing in my car?"
That is his biggest concern. That is his only question. Bobby goes home and tells his fiancée, Ellen Rash, about Mona's death. Ellen, played by the lovely Neve Campbell, happens to be Chief Wyatt Rash's daughter. Yes, Neve Campbell is Danny DeVito's daughter in this movie. It sounds like a great family. I would love to be a part of it. Ellen's reaction is that they should celebrate. Bobby's a little concerned about this joyous response to a person's death, but that person was Mona Dearly. Ellen has seen how the Dearlys treat her fiancé, and she has no sympathy. At this time we get our first of many flashbacks, which are always great. It starts with Jeff playing that game with the knife where you go in between your fingers as fast as you can without stabbing yourself, and he's going pretty fast. Until his mom yells at him. After having a discussion on why the name of Jeff and Bobby's business shouldn't be called BJ Landscaping, Phil says, "Oh Jesus," to himself, and Jeff and Mona start ganging up on him. As Phil tries to defend himself, Bobby takes this opportunity to thank Phil for his contribution to their conversation. Mona then calls Bobby a kiss-ass, and then Jeff, Mona, and Phil, the person Bobby was trying to help out, all start ganging up on him and calling him a kiss-ass over and over again. After the flashback ends, Ellen brings up Jeff killing Peaches, the Schneider dog. This becomes a running joke throughout the movie. Jeff will later tell Chief Rash that Bobby killed Peaches in a hilarious flashback. It's my favorite scene of the movie. It goes like this. Hey, you killed Peaches. I would have fired us for that. Is that a first-hand account? Like you never killed a dog? Look, Bobby, if you keep losing our accounts, pretty soon we'll be out of business. Then how are we gonna take care of Ellen? Take care of Ellen. Ellen freaking Schmellen. Mona comes into frame. Bobby grabs her by the throat and pins her to the car and screams at her, I can't hear you, Mrs. Dearly. What? Huh? What? Huh? What? Jeff and Phil approach. One step closer, Jeff, and I swear to God I will tear out your frickin' ovaries. Don't you speak to my boy like that. Mrs. Dearly, your boy has the IQ of a garden pest. And so do you, you dumb wench. Hey, Bobby, I don't think that... What? You don't think? That's your problem, Phil. You don't think. I can't take it anymore. Especially you, Mona Dearly. What's that supposed to mean? You know what it means. You know what it means. Ha! And then it cuts back to Chief Rash looking at Jeff like, what the fuck? There's no way that actually happened. Later, Chief Rash will confront Bobby about this, and Bobby says, yeah, Jeff killed Peaches. And Chief Rash goes, I thought it was the other way around. And Bobby says,
So Peaches killed Jeff?
No.
He's such a dumbass. I love him. Speaking of dumbasses, Phil Dearly has been cheating on his wife, Mona, with a waitress named Rona. Rona is played by Jamie Lee Curtis with... What is this? Is this a mullet? A shag? It should look horrible, but somehow she pulls it off and makes it look kind of sexy. But Phil and Rona hook up, and they play Wheel of Fortune together at the local motel. Playing Wheel of Fortune is his thing, apparently. In a flashback, Mona accuses him of cheating on her and goes,
You've been playing Wheel of Fortune with someone else!
It's kind of funny that not only is this his foreplay of choice, but that he does it with both of the women in his life. But Rona is smart, and she's taking this death seriously. She's the side chick, and she knows it's only logical that either A, she is accused of the murder, or B, Phil killed Mona, and Rona is next. Chief Rash's concerns about Mona's brakes being tampered with are confirmed by the sexy lesbian mechanic. She tells him that not only was a hole punched in the brake fluid tank, but all 4 brake lines were cut. This car, she says, was fixed to kill. Bobby, meanwhile, goes to the Dearlys.
I just want to express my sorrow over the loss of your tragic loved one.
Phil informs him that tonight will be Mona's wake. Then he and Jeff call him a kiss-ass again.
Yeah, make sure you wear them kiss-ass shoes, too. I'll mow your lawn, I'll trim your hedges, and I'll kiss your ass.
The local funeral home is run by Cubby, which is a sweaty Will Ferrell with a really bad comb-over. Cubby runs a sort of boudoir shoot out of the funeral home. Only 5 people show up to the wake. Phil and Jeff, Bobby and Ellen, and Chief Rash. None staying very long. Chief Rash grows more concerned when he notices the lack of sympathy for Mona's death, even from her own family, but he knows she wasn't the easiest person to get along with. We get a flashback of a knife-throwing contest in which Mona lost to Bobby. Mona has this tantrum because she believes she should have won. Even her husband voted for Bobby. Chief Rash tells her that his mom used to say, when life hands you potatoes, make potato salad. And she says, well, life handed me a pile of shit. What am I supposed to make with that? And her husband goes,
Shit salad?
The night of the wake, the other cops, who have no intentions of investigating any further into Mona's death, are having a grand old time sharing stories they heard about Jeff. They all involve him reaching for a beer and subsequently losing his hand. We will later find out how Jeff really lost his hand, which is a bit more tragic, but it does actually involve him reaching for a beer, so the rumors had something right. We then discover that not only is Rona hooking up with Phil Dearly, but also his son. And they play Wheel of Fortune too. It's just a family thing, I guess. When Jeff finds out Rona has been hooking up with his dad, she tells him she was hoping to marry his father so that the 3 of them could live together. And Jeff goes, why, so you could bang us both at the same time? She's like, yeah. I can't tell you much more about this story, or I'll give away who did it. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna ruin the fun. So you have to go find out for yourself. But I will tell you there's this hilarious scene at the end which takes place at the cemetery. It's great. And it does have a happy ending, all things considered, you know, considering someone died. Actually, 2 people died. Almost 3 people. But you'll have to see for yourselves. If you made it this far, don't forget to give this video a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, but only if you want to. To all my returning viewers, a very special thank you. I appreciate you all very much. To all others, this has been Editions of You, and thank you for watching. Bye!
This is dearly your boy is the IQ of a garden pest! And so do you, you dumb wench!